Government confirming that it has provided humanitarian visas to 5 members of the Iranian women's football team. That confirmation, it followed a flurry of diplomatic activity overnight, a phone call in the middle of the night between the Prime Minister and President. With me is our political editor, Andrew Clennell. Andrew, this was quite an extraordinary set of circumstances.
It was, Kieran, and I asked someone this morning who woke Anthony Albanese up. Was a staffer, and I was told Donald did. So we're talking about a direct phone call here from the White House switchboard to Anthony Albanese. Picture this. Anthony Albanese is asleep at the lodge. The phone rings. Who's this? It's the White House. Can you speak to the President? And there you go. No knowledge of this earlier tweet from Donald Trump. He's able to explain we are taking these Iranian women soccer players as asylum seekers. So let's break it down. Let's have a look at the timeline. Before midnight last night, asylum is granted to the 5 players. Others decided, obviously, not to take up the government's offer on this. I think around 1:15 a.m, Donald Trump tweets saying, "What are you doing, Australia? You should be taking these players." And then at 2 a.m, presumably after the President was told, "Oh, you might have this wrong. I think they've done something." "Oh, I better call Anthony Albanese up, Kieran." So he does. And that is the event that occurred last night. 40-minute phone call, I'm told. I'm told the President was optimistic about the situation with the war in Iran in the phone call. Let's have a look at those tweets too, because they illustrate how things change between the earlier tweet and the early hours of the morning in Australia. Australia is making a terrible humanitarian mistake by allowing them to be forced back to Iran. Don't do it, Mr. Prime Minister. Well, they'd already acted, perhaps. Fortunately for Anthony Albanese, it doesn't look like Donald Trump forced him to do it. And here's the correction tweet after the 40-minute phone call. So I'm told, Kieran, Tony Burke flew up Sunday to Brisbane. The National Security Committee of Cabinet had worked through a situation where officials could give asylum offers. Why only 5? They're only taking those who want to stay and never go home again, because that's the deal here. So some of the players want to go home to their partners, etc. As one senior government source said to me, it's a big call. It's a big call to stay in Australia, never see your family again. Obviously, 5 of those players have done that. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you in relation to this phone call is it's unclear to me if Donald Trump made any military requests of the Australians in this phone call. Now, I've been told not to say that he did, but I have no information on whether that occurred, and I just purely speculate, I purely wonder whether that's something he might have mentioned, that at some time down the track Australia can assist. We know that request came from the UAE leader. I reckon watch this space. I mean, if we ever have any involvement, I don't think it will be that major, but we're talking about a 40-minute phone call between the President and the Prime Minister about the asylum seekers from the Iran team, but also about the war. Watch this space.
When you look at the situation, that group, that team arrived here, the conflict erupted while they've been here. So that source that said to you it's a big call, it is a massive call.
Yeah.
They arrived here thinking, OK, we'll play in the tournament, we'll go home, but they're never going home. Yeah. It's quite extraordinary. The other thing I think is interesting, Andrew, because just to pick up on some of the other detail you're reporting, is that the Burke being in Brisbane for several days. This fits in actually with my intel over the last few days, is that he has been running a very delicate operation, first of all, to get access to the players away from their handlers, and now, as you say, to get that done before midnight last night.
I think, I can't report this as fact, but my conversations indicate that it could well be that this is an Australian initiative, right? So it's not just the players reaching out to the community, getting a message to Home Affairs, we want asylum. It is possible that the government has taken this through ASIO, through NSC, all these steps, and said, can we make an offer to these women? Can we go through back channels to say, look, if you want to stay, you can? And I believe that's what's occurred here. But the suggestion they could all be granted asylum, well, you can't make people go and take humanitarian visas, but these 5 obviously have the courage to do so. We wish them all the best, obviously. I mean, they're very brave ladies, let's face it.
They are indeed. Yeah, Andrew, thank you for that really interesting intel.